X-1R is worth every penny if it can save you thousands of dollars in motor repairs. Look at this pile of expenses for one car's engine. Now, what if your motor were to lose this one little item, the oil plug? No more oil equals no more motor. Not with X-1R, as this next story demonstrates.
I've been with X-1R now for 3 years, and I'm still on the same race motor. We've been posted a winning season, and we've never had any damage. I've run 3 Daytona 200s with the product, never had a bearing-related failure. I even went so far as much as I hate to admit it, a drain plug fell out of my bike during a race. I ran the whole half-mile straightaway, leaking basically my whole engine's contents on the ground. Everybody in the pit said the motor's junk. As it turned out, I got a drain plug, put in some regular oil, some more X-1R, and within a half hour, the bike was up and running again. And half hour after that, I was dicing for the lead in the race, and we ended up taking it. And like I said, the product has just never failed me.
I bet you like that story about the motorcycle, huh? But what if we put X-1R into a life or death situation? Well, we got creative and did just that. To prove X-1R is the next generation lubrication, we are prepared to do the ultimate. Remove the oil from this airplane while it is flying. This will mean that the only thing keeping the engine from seizing up will be the lasting lubrication of X-1R. After setting up a system under the fuselage that will collect the oil from the engine, the big test day arrives. Unfortunately, the weather turns awful for this ultimate torture test, adding another element, wind and turbulence. Now, it's one thing to run an engine without oil and in a no-load situation, but it's a dangerous thing to run a motor while under load with no oil.
Here we go.
All right, let's do it.
Oil pressure's good. Temperature's in the green.
Just saw you took off overhead. Good luck, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll be in radio contact with the plane at all times to hear what's going on inside the plane. And there are cameras positioned on the inside and outside of the aircraft to video this torture test as it happens. This is a live test, and the cameras are rolling. Now remember, there's nothing but the protection provided by X-1R to keep the engine from seizing up while it's in the air. The object is to drain the oil from the motor while in flight. We're merely using this as an ultimate example of the way X-1R works in your car, truck, or motorcycle.
Okay, we're going to drop the oil on this pass in about 10 seconds.
X-1R is the next generation in engine lubrication, and we'll prove it. Here we go with removing the oil.
Pull the plug. Here we go.
There goes the hot oil out of the engine.
You can see the oil pressure is dropping to nothing.
Now there is no lubricant inside the motor, and the oil pressure gauge is dropping to zero.
We're out of oil.
Only the protection of X-1R and the knowledge that it has bonded with the metal parts of the engine will allow the plane to keep flying even without oil.
At this point, in an airplane without the X-1R, I would be very definitely looking for a place to make an emergency landing. Oil pressure is dropping to zero, but I'm going to have a little confidence in this. I'm going to make one more circle around.
We've definitely lost all oil pressure.
Normally, any loss of oil pressure is a mayday situation for an aircraft. But with X-1R, the engine can safely fly the plane and deliver the two pilots back to the airport. Imagine what protection you can have for your vehicle. X-1R eliminates friction, which means your motor could virtually last forever.
We're on the ground. We're on the ground.
Ah, they made it back on the ground safely, and the engine is still running. You can see the oil in the canister under the plane. Don't settle for yesterday's technology. Use X-1R. When it comes to protecting your car, boat, truck, motorcycle, or even an airplane, the product that really lives up to its claim is X-1R, the next generation lubricant. An incredible story about an incredible product. You need to protect your family and your vehicles with X-1R. I know I sure do. I'm Michael Tolden. I'll see you on the road.
Proven on the racetrack, proven by NASA, proven in the laboratory, and proven on the road. X-1R is the next generation engine performance lubricant. By By allowing your motor to have less friction, you will have multiple benefits. You save money on your fuel costs. You save money with fewer engine repairs. You save money by having less breakdowns.
I had my mechanic put in the X-1R because I drive my children around a lot and I don't want to break down.
I get 8 miles to the gallon in it. I put a bottle of X-1R in it, now I'm getting 10.
We used to get 10 and now we get almost 12 miles a gallon.
It's so simple to use. Just pour it in and it works. The secret is the fact that it soaks into the metal of your motor and is absorbed to better lubricate expensive moving parts. X-1R is so reliable and successful, it was inducted into NASA's Hall of Fame because of its ability to lubricate the 3 million pound shuttle transport vehicle. X-1R is the only lubricant in the world honored with the title Certified Space Technology. It works for race cars, motorcycles, boats, trucks, and your car, new or old. Here's how to order your own bottle of X-1R. Just call this number, and for only $19.95, you'll get enough to protect one vehicle for thousands of miles of problem-free driving. With X-1R, you and your family will be protected from breakdowns and costly repairs.
I trust my life to these guys, and my guys depend on X-1R.
We see great reductions in oil temperature and engine wear. Our motors are lasting 3 years without an engine failure so far in this series.
We're so confident that if you call now, we will include a bottle of X-1R penetrating spray absolutely free. This futuristic spray soaks into metal and eliminates your nasty squeaking problems. This 4-ounce spray bottle has a retail value of $9.95 and will be yours free if you call now. Double your value with this X-1R Ultimate Lubrication Kit. All of it for only one payment of $19.95. Call now. We're so sure that you'll never want to drive a car, truck, boat, or motorcycle without the protection of X-1R. We'll let you try it for a full 30 days. You will get more kilometers per liter. You will get fewer breakdowns and repairs. Or simply send back the empty bottle for a prompt refund. Order your X-1R, the next generation engine treatment, and see for yourself. Just call this number, and for only $19.95, you'll get enough to protect one vehicle for thousands of miles of problem-free driving. Call now. The following has been a paid presentation for X-1R engine treatment by Motor Plus and produced by Quantum Television.
You can always turn here for quality products that enhance the quality of your life. Quantum Television. Choose wisely. Live well.
Fed up with knives that just won't cut? Tired of dull knives that destroy your dinners? Disturbed by what it takes just to prepare the evening meal? Then welcome the all-new Miracle Blade 3 Perfection Series. A blade so sharp and powerful, you can cut a pineapple in mid-air. A design so extraordinary, it uses a control ball to make chopping, cutting, mincing, and dicing easier than ever before. Handles so ingenious, you can cut from top to bottom and your hands never get in the way. A set of knives so good, they're called the Perfection Series. And so durable, they're worthy of the name Miracle Blade.
I've never had a knife that cut this beautiful.
They perform just the way they're advertised to perform. They're great knives.
I like them so much, I'd actually start cooking more, and I don't cook that much.
I want these for my husband. Now give me the number.
Since 1989, millions have enjoyed the quality, durability, and value of Miracle Blade knives. 5 years of research have now created the all-new Miracle Blade Perfection Series with its comfort handles, unique design, spectacular edge, and they're guaranteed to stay sharp for a lifetime, or we replace them free forever. Over 2 million sets have already been sold at $40, but we're doing the unthinkable. We're cutting the price in half, less than $20, an unheard of price. So now, please join Chef Tony as he takes the knives all the way to France, to the world-famous Culinaire d'Art Cooking School, where he showed the Miracle Blade 3 Perfection Series to a class of chefs. You know what they say, the French are a tough audience. If they like the knives, you know they're good. Take a look.
Don't blink your eyes or turn your head.
Now, I think we can all agree that's a very special knife, and it should be. This is the all-new Miracle Blade 3, the first in the Perfection series, and one look, you can see it's not an ordinary knife. Look, the handles are recessed. It's a comfort grip. Takes your hand up and off the board. And the blade, hardened and tempered, stainless steel, the best of the best. Watch, as sharp as you see this knife, brand new out of the box, that's exactly how sharp the knife stays. And with our 3-in-1 edge, look, it's the knife that does the cutting, not Chef Tony. Gentlemen, if you do any carving, you're gonna love it. Watch, around the holidays, now you can finally carve roast beef, turkey, chicken, pot roast. Every time you draw that blade, you'll get perfect slices. See that fork in the front? That's for company. Lift it up, serve it right on their plate. Now, if they're not looking, use your fingers. No one will ever notice. And guys, you do a little bit of fishing, watch what I do right now. You take this knife and start it between the skin and the meat, and that poor fish will jump out of its skin. Look at this. Look at this. Now watch. I could even take the meat right off the skin. Now, that's what I call a shark knife, and it should be. But maybe you have some frozen food. You're gonna love this. You can cut frozen salmon, lake trout, lake perch. You know, a lot of people abuse their knives, and cutting boards is what dulls it. I think you can see. I just cut into the cutting board. That would dull any knife you have, but not the Miracle Blade, and I'm just getting started. Listen, I know you're not gonna go home and cut solid rock. But when I tell you that knife will cut chicken bones, ham bones, spare ribs, frozen vegetables, you could even take this knife and cut a Christmas tree. It'll cut sheetrock, linoleum. I give that knife more abuse in 10 seconds than you'll give it in your lifetime. And if you remember years ago in our commercials, we used to cut this. But this is aluminum, and look, it's like butter for the Miracle Blade. Let me give it a real test for you. This is a sledgehammer. Solid steel. Now, I'm not telling you guys to go home and cut metal with this knife. It's not made for cutting the muffler off your truck. But you have to agree, I give that knife more abuse in 10 seconds than you'll give it in your lifetime. And if you think I'm kidding around up here, one thing I can't lie about is right here on the paper. Look at those filings. If I took that much steel off the teeth and edge of that knife, I couldn't cut peanut butter with it. But watch what I do now. Here's a professional test. The length of the blade, the middle of the blade, the tip of the blade. Every single time you pick up this knife, it'll cut just like it came out of the box. And my favorite cut, I can go right back to that red ripe tomato and cut it like that knife never left the box. Imagine today, tomorrow, next week, 10 years from now, we guarantee in writing that the Miracle Blade must stay just that sharp. But wait a minute. Fresh bread, my mother's favorite. You're gonna love this. And I mean soft. Look. You can cut that bread as thick or as thin as you like. Now watch this. When I get to the bottom, my hand doesn't touch, full stroke, perfect slice, and that's what I call cutting. Now, if you don't buy one of my knives, you'll remember me. When you go home and pull out one of your war clubs, you know what I'm gonna do, and you make your family these little breadsticks like you've been doing for 50 years. Now, come on, how many? Guilty, guilty, You ever try to butter one of these bad boys or get that out of a toaster? Yeah, right. Listen, I told you it's the Miracle Blade Perfection series. This is the all-purpose slicer. Only thing that knife doesn't do is chop. This one is our rock and chop. There hasn't been a design change on a knife like that. Look at this. In over 100 years, the same stainless steel, same recessed handle. So when you chop with this knife, it is a joy. The weight of the knife does the cutting. But this is called the AccuGrip control ball. It centers the knife right in my hand. Now you get no fatigue in the hand. You get perfect results each and every time. Watch. When I rock that blade back and forth, you'll get perfect minces. I mean, that's what I call spectacular. And even on something hard, like a potato. Watch. Rock that blade, cut it right in half. Place it back together, and when it comes to cooking, when you cook this fast, this simple, this easy, and that safe, and look at my knife. This is called the Quick Release Aerators. It releases your food. It's a great cheese knife, and I'm still not done. This one is our boning and fillet knife. Look at that design. See how flexible that blade is? I tell you, when you want to butterfly a pork chop with this knife, watch what I do. All you do is let the knife work for you. Imagine stuffing a pork chop that fast. And guys, if you're a fisherman, you wouldn't take 50 bucks for this knife. Watch how that blade works right down to the tail. In fact, I can even fillet the fillet. Now that's what I call sharp. You'll love it. And this is called the chop and scoop. Very thin blade, but notice the same AccuGrip handle. I love this for tedious work. When you want to do parsley, garlic, onions, fresh basil, cilantro, fresh ginger. When you have a knife that's designed this well, you get perfect results. And watch, I can actually scoop the food and take it right to my favorite recipe. You know, friends, I've been designing and selling knives for over 20 years, but never anything as perfect as the Miracle Blade Perfection Series. And just you wait, I have 7 more knives for you.